Ann Jeffries as Marion Kirby, the ghostess with the mostess. Robert Sterling as George Kirby, that most sportive spirit. And Leo G. Carroll, host to said ghosts, as Topper.
Stroke. You can rest now, Mrs. Topper.
Good morning, dear.
Good morning. God, well, I'm feeling thinner already. Don't I look it?
Yes, dear. Positively emaciated.
You all rested, honey? Come on, then.
Come on. Oopsie daisy.
Come on. Up you go. Okay. There we go.
You sure this thing is safe?
Well, my personal guarantee, Mr. Topper. Susie is perfectly safe. I always call her Susie.
I'm sure Susan's safe, but what about Henrietta?
Well, Susie's a very delicate mechanism, Mr. Topper. I assure you, if anything went wrong with her, it'd be very expensive to have her repaired. I'm not going to have anything happen to Susie until she gets broken.
Yes, but my wife.
Don't worry, Cosmo. I was brought up with horses.
Well, goodbye, dear. I'll see you at the paddock.
And out. And down. Up. Down.
Here's your paper, Topper.
And your briefcase.
Up. And up.
My carnation?
George, his carnation.
Coming up.
Thank you. There are certain advantages in sharing a house with ghosts.
Oh, George, he said something nice about us.
Probably working up to a touch.
I do wish that wife of yours would exercise more quietly.
Well, it's difficult to ride a horse quietly in a bedroom.
And up. And up. Topper, Mr. Topper.
What's happened?
Mr. Topper. She landed on her tail, fractured a fetlock, and broke her leg.
Henrietta?
No, Susie.
Well, I'm sorry you're not feeling better, dear.
It isn't only the pain. When I think of all that money going to waste.
Money? What money?
That I paid the health studio. 24 treatments in advance. And I only had 2.
Oh, well, you can take the rest when your arm is well.
The offer is only good for a month. Cosmo!
What is it?
In the event of a client being unable to continue the course, the remaining treatments can be transferred without additional charge to another member of the family.
Tell her it was a misprint.
Well, that's a misprint.
She can't do that to our Topper.
It's a wonderful idea, Cosmo. You can get 22 treatments free of charge.
Well, I wouldn't want them even if I had to pay for them.
But think of what they'll do for you.
Think what they did for you.
This woman's inhuman. She wants him to break his leg.
That was an accident. Besides, you are putting on weight.
Oh, baloney.
Maloney. I'm not.
I just know you're putting on weight.
You do look stoutish, Topper.
I do not.
You just said...
You don't what?
Never mind what I said.
I weighed myself only last week. 158 pounds. Well, that's what I've always been.
Ooh, a lot can happen in a week.
A lot can happen in 2 seconds.
A lot can happen in a week.
That's what I said.
What are you plotting, Lucretia Borgia?
Hush, George, don't interrupt Henrietta.
My figure is no different from what it's always been. What's more, I can prove it.
How?
If I weigh a pound over 160, that's 2 pounds more than I weighed last week. I'll take your 22 treatments.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I wish you'd stop quoting me.
You can help me upstairs, dear, and we'll use the scale.
All right, dear. Careful now.
Come on, Marion. Let's watch Topper weigh in. Marion, where are you?
Just as I thought.
Take your foot off that scale.
My foot is not on the scale. And I must say, Cosmo Topper, I never thought you were such a bad sport.
Who's a bad sport?
You promised to take the treatments if you weighed over 160, and now you're trying to squirm out of it by accusing me of putting my foot on the scale.
But
I always thought you were a man of your word, but if you want to break it, let's say no more.
But Henrietta...
If you can gain 40 pounds in 1 week, then you must be putting on weight every minute.
You've got a mighty flabby body, Mr. Topper. Mighty flabby.
Yeah, so I've been told. Constantly, for the last half hour.
Well, don't you worry. If anyone can fix you up, it's Joe Manerkey. You know what the Muscle magazine said about my build?
I'm afraid I missed that issue.
Well, that's okay. I brought a copy with me. There I am, right there.
Yeah, so I gathered. And this is June.
Oh, I don't know her name. You know, you wouldn't have known me before I started building up my body. No, sir. You wouldn't have known me.
Those were the good old days.
Yeah.
Hey, put that back.
We went back.
Oh, my arm. You threw it out.
Just feels that way.
Stop that and go away.
Hey, what are you doing?
This is a little exercise of my own. Nothing really.
Well, I wouldn't do any exercises unless I give them to you.
Get out of here and stay out.
I thought you weren't speaking to me.
I'm not, so go away.
What'd you say?
I was just breathing.
Well, that's good. Keep your eye on. Best thing for you. Hey, what happened to the magazine?
Oh, how should I know?
Oh, here it is. Say, you didn't have to tear it out. I would have given you one.
Topper, why don't you look where you're going?
How can I look if there isn't anything to see? And what are you doing squirming around on the ground?
I'm trying to teach Neil to roll over. He's not very bright. Well, you're not. I'll bet Topper could. Go on, roll over, Topper, and make him ashamed.
I'll do no such thing. I'm having enough trouble with your wife without you adding to it.
Marion? Why should you have trouble with her? I don't.
Oh, you don't, eh?
No, I don't. I know how to handle her.
Oh, you do, eh?
Absolutely, if I say so myself, which I just did.
Oh, you did, eh?
Topper, old man, you're losing your grip as well as your vocabulary.
I am, eh? And what are you losing?
All right, Mr. Bones, what am I losing?
Oh, nothing important. Only your wife.
Topper, all this exercise is fogging your brain. Whom could Marion possibly prefer to a prince among princes like me?
A dumbbell among dumbbells. Like Joe Manerkey.
Oh, that human Charlie horse? Don't be silly. Marion wouldn't give him the time of day with me on the premises.
Well, she wouldn't, eh?
There you go again.
Then why does she follow him around all day, mooning over him?
She's comparing him to me. Unfavorably, of course.
Well, of all the egotistical, conceited...
I am not in the least conceited. I'm much too lovable, intelligent, and saintly to be conceited. Furthermore, if you're trying to make me jealous to get rid of Joe in your exercises, I wish you'd try using a little more intelligent dialogue. Come, Neil. This man bores me.
He does, eh?
Oh, Oh, Joe, if you could only see me. I look so nice.
Good morning, Joe. Would you mind answering the door?
Sure thing, Mrs. Topper. There's no one out there.
That's strange. I could have sworn I heard the chimes.
Yeah, I thought I did, too. I guess they must have gone away.
Well, it doesn't matter. You'll find Mr. Topper upstairs.
That gets them all.
I beg your pardon.
Well, I don't mind. Go ahead anytime you like.
Go ahead.
That's right, and don't worry. I won't tell your husband.
Neil, go away. Joe! Joe, where are you? Get him off me.
Hey, beat it, Neil.
Huh? I was talking to myself. And please don't interfere.
Gosh, no. Sorry.
And get me out of here. Sure.
Now, you start doing your push-ups, Mr. Topper. I'll go run your cold bath.
Topper. Topper. Topper.
Oh, it's you.
Topper, darling. Let's kiss and make up.
Oh, go away. Leave me alone, you muscle-crazy she-wolf.
Oh, darling, don't be that way. I'm only having a little fun. If George doesn't mind, I don't see why you should.
George isn't being beaten to death by a pin-headed pile driver. Besides, what makes you think he doesn't mind?
George trusts me.
Well, you know your own business best, of course.
How could George be jealous? Hey, he knows every move I make.
He certainly does. We had a little talk last night.
Oh, so that's it.
I beg your pardon?
You should. Of all the low-down, high-handed tricks I ever saw, trying to break up my beautiful marriage just to get out of your exercising, why, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Cosmo, I'm glad you're alone. I want to talk to you. Cosmo. I don't know what's happening to the doors in this house. They all seem to need fixing.
You wanted to talk to me?
Cosmo, I'm concerned about that boy.
What boy?
That Joe, your trainer.
Well, what's he done?
Well, nothing specific, but when he came in this morning, he acted so strange.
Yes, you know, I noticed that, too. Sort of wild and violent. Definitely schizophrenic. Very dangerous. Oh, very, very dangerous.
Oh, no, he wasn't that way at all.
But he wasn't?
I suppose it was just my imagination.
Oh, he couldn't have been.
How do you know?
Well, you don't imagine things.
Cosmo, look.
Oh, just your imagination, dear. Sorry. What about Joe?
Oh, it was stupid of me to mention it. After all, he's doing you a world of good. And that's the important thing.
Oh, but it isn't it? Well, Henrietta, do you think I'm going to permit a crazy man around the house? Never. I'm going to fire him at once.
Cosmo, don't you dare.
What?
He hasn't done a thing to me. I told you it was just my imagination.
But it wasn't.
What's that?
Oh, it's the floor slopes, dear. I'm going to get it fixed.
I have to do my exercising.
Well, what for?
I want to keep my shape. Wouldn't hurt you to do a little exercising either.
You sound like Henrietta.
You're getting flabby.
Nonsense, dear. It's just my sweatshirt.
That isn't your sweatshirt.
I'm in perfect condition, not a pound over. I am not flabby. Just because I don't happen to be overdeveloped like that underdeveloped bird brain.
I don't know to whom you're referring.
To Tarzan, the ape man. Jungle Jim, the Nook of the South. I suppose you'd like me to be like him.
I'd certainly like you to look like him.
Oh, you would, huh?
George, what are you getting angry about?
I'm not angry. I just don't like to be told by my own wife that she wants her own husband to look like the man she's in love with.
George, are you jealous?
Me? Jealous? Oh.
Well, I should hope not.
Why should you hope not? What are you hiding from me?
George, don't be childish.
Oh, so you admit it.
Admit what?
Whatever it is you're hiding.
My dear George, I assure you, Mr. Minerky means absolutely nothing to me, and you're only cheapening yourself by suspecting me of caring for him. And now, if you're quite through with your cross-examining, I should like to take a shower.
Good morning, dear. Oh? What's the idea?
Topper, she's in love.
Go away before we wake Henrietta. Oh, Henrietta's in love?
No, Marion. Now listen, old man, we've got to get that muscle man out of the house. He's a menace.
Well, how do you know she's in love?
I caught her red-handed wearing his picture.
Well, that's your problem. Good night.
But, Topper, don't you see? If we get rid of him, you'll be able to stop the exercises.
No, I don't know that I want to stop them.
You don't?
No, they're building up my body. Besides, Joe's going to teach me judo.
I'll teach you judo.
I prefer Joe.
But Topper, think of me. Think of what your exercises are doing to my happiness.
You want me to give up my health for your happiness?
Well, no, I didn't mean that, but
I never knew you were so selfish.
Oh, but Topper...
Shame.
Cosmo? Are you dreaming again?
Yes, dear. Oh, beautiful dream. Don't wake me.
Well, now you gotta watch me close, Mr. Topper. I'm gonna give you your first lesson in the art of self-defense. Now, supposing you're walking down the street. This big guy jumps out and he grabs you like that. What would you do?
Well, I'd ask him to let me go.
Yeah, but supposing he wouldn't. Then what would you do?
I'd call a policeman.
Yeah.
Well, supposing there weren't any around. What would you do then?
Well, I'd complain to the mayor.
Look, Mr. Topper, you're not cooperating.
Why not? I've answered all your questions.
Yeah, but you're getting me mixed up. In this sort of work, I gotta keep my mind clear.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's start all over again, shall we?
Okay, but this time you grabbed me the way I grabbed you.
Like this?
That's it. Now you just rush me, you gotta throw me. What happens?
Well, I throw you. I did throw you.
I must have tripped. Let's try it again.
With pleasure.
Sorry, old man. I was taking off my shirt.
Oh, that was you doing the throwing.
It sure was.
I must have slipped. Let's try again. Don't get taking off your shirt.
My shirt has nothing to do with it.
Those are fighting words.
You never do it right. I quit.
Joe. You mustn't leave angry.
He's got no right to do it wrong.
But don't you understand what you've done for him? Why, only 2 days ago he couldn't even lift a little weight.
He threw me when I wasn't ready. And nobody throws me when I'm not ready.
Nevertheless, I want to thank you for what you've done.
Everybody throws me when I'm not ready.
Oh, George, I never knew you were so strong.
George, help me with this. I want to really impress Henrietta.
So I'm flabby, eh?
I don't know whether you're strong or he's weak.
Oh, George, I'll never call you flabby again. Do you forgive me?
Well, just this once.
Cosmo, be careful. Cosmo!
Who? Oh, Joe Menacke. No, thanks, Joe. No, I shan't be needing any of your treatments. I've never felt in better shape in my life.